Imagine it's just before Christmas 2025, and the world is buzzing about a long-awaited moment in one of America's most infamous scandals. On December 19th, right on the deadline, the U.S. Department of Justice releases a massive batch of files related to Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender who died in custody back in 2019. This partial release comes under a new law called the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which President Donald Trump himself signed just a month earlier, after strong bipartisan pressure from Congress. But according to Sky News U.S. correspondent James Matthews, this timing isn't accidental. He calls it a clear case of White House media management, a strategic move written all over it. Here's why. The files drop on a Friday, heading into the holiday season, when people's attention naturally shifts to family and festivities. Any big stories tend to fade quickly during this low news period. What stands out in the initial documents? Former President Bill Clinton's name appears everywhere, prominent mentions and photos. Yet, when you search for Donald Trump's name, nothing turns up. Matthew suggests this is classic PR tactics: front-load the release with material linked to Democrats, like Clinton, and hold back anything potentially tied to Trump for later, perhaps over the quiet days between Christmas and New Year when the public isn't paying close attention. Adding to the narrative, the files include references to celebrities like Mick Jagger, Diana Ross, and even Michael Jackson. These stars are portrayed as innocents, lured into Epstein's orbit without knowing his dark secrets. This framing paints Epstein as a deceptive monster who tricked the unsuspecting, potentially building sympathy that could extend to others in his circle, including political figures. But not everyone's buying the strategy. Epstein's survivors and their advocates are furious. They call the heavy redactions and drip-feed approach a gross insult, an affront that prioritizes political games over real justice. Despite the Trump administration's claims of transparency and a tight timescale, critics point out that full disclosure could have happened much sooner. Instead, wide blackouts leave out crucial context, forcing everyone to speculate and join the dots on their own. In the end, Matthews argues, this orchestrated release might minimize backlash for the White House while frustrating the demand for full accountability. For the survivors at the heart of this story, it's yet another painful delay in their long fight for truth and justice denied.